today I'm going to be discussing a situation I'm in with all this PC stuff. Um, it's getting a little complicated. I'm not sure what I should do. I have a plan, but I'm not sure if I should follow through with it or just stick with what I got. Um, so anyway, I was a big PS4, Xbox One, like console gamer, and I've always wanted to get into PCs, but I've never wanted to build one. I've always been kind of turned off by that. Um, So I was always looking to buy just a pre-built one, even though all my friends said don't do it, build your own. It's cheaper, you'll get more for your money. Um, anyway, I was sick of the PS4 stuff. I was watching stream after stream of the H1Z1 game. That game really caught my attention coming from consoles because we really don't have any games like that. Um, so I really wanted one literally just for that game, and I watched a lot of Counter-Strike Go, like competitive matches, and that game caught my attention. And I know that was on console, but it's not the same. So I finally decided to buy one. I wasn't going to build it. I was too worried. I'm not smart with the computer stuff. I'm still learning each and every day. So I went out to Best Buy on a mission. I was going to buy one. I really didn't care how much. But then again, I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't really know what I was buying. So I bought an Alienware Aora R5, I believe it was. I believe it was on sale for like $13.99, like $1,400. Ungodly amount of money for a pre-built system. And it came with a Intel i7, was it the 3.4 gigahertz one, weak, and then it came with the GTX 1070, which the guy at the store said I can play just about anything on it, and he wasn't lying. I was definitely happy with that card. But the more I bought stuff, the more I got all the keyboards, headphones, webcams, everything, I realized, why am I wasting money on stuff that shouldn't cost that much? So here's the PC I bought. I'll mute this. I was stoked. I had a gaming PC. This isn't the one I have in the beginning because it says that this one's an i3. But I bought a PC. I was stoked. Was playing all the games with my buddies. Just like any other hobby I get into, or if I'm building something, whenever I see there's something better, I feel like I always have to get it. Even if it's a marginal difference, I feel like I have to have the best. Call me whatever you want for that. That's just how I am. I believe you get what you pay for, other than buying pre-built PCs because they're garbage. This one's water cooled. Mine wasn't even water cooled. So honestly, within a couple weeks, I was ready to upgrade stuff. I wanted to start changing out parts, and the first thing I wanted to do was change my graphic card. Around this time, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds came out, and the 1070, I know the game's early on, it's not optimized, but the card just ran it horribly. And all my buddies had the 1080, and they said it was running fine, like 70, 80 frames per second. I was like, okay, time to go out and buy one. Started researching graphic cards, and then I saw the 1080 Ti came out, and I was sold. I saw how much better that was from the 1080, and all that was going through my mind was, this is going to run these games so much better than what it already is. It's just going to be a way more enjoyable experience. So I went out and bought a 1080 Ti, not researching a thing, which is my downfall in this. I wish I would have slowly researched everything. Found out the power supply that came in the system wasn't even close to enough to run that card. Went out, bought another power supply. It was the EVGA 850 BQ. Just enough to get me over that point where I could run that graphics card. And got all that hooked up, upgraded all that, ran smooth. And then I do too much comparing to other people. That's another downfall of mine. I'll watch streamers with a 1080 and they'll be getting 100 frames per second. I'm running a 1080 Ti, only getting like 75 to 80. And that just like bugs me every time I play. Game's running fine. You can't tell anything past 60 frames per second. So it just frustrates me. Like, I'm not even focusing on the game. I'm just looking at that FPS counter, which that's me again. PC was running fine. And I started asking around on Reddit, which is probably the worst thing you can do, because half the people on there don't really know what they're saying, tell you the wrong thing. I explained my situation, and I would explain, everyone would be like, oh, just lower your graphics. No streamer plays on ultra graphics. And I'm running 2560 by 1440 monitors. I got, what, 3 of them now? So they're like, just lower your resolution to 1080, drop it down to medium or low settings, just like all the streamers do. Should be better. Tried all of that, and it would either run the game exactly the same, FPS-wise, or honestly run worse. Like, if I don't know if changing the resolutions to lower made it work harder to try to change it up. I have no idea. I'm still confused on that. So I explained my situation online, and people kept saying that my CPU was bottlenecking, they said, and I didn't know what that meant. So went in and did all this research, and everyone's like saying you should run at least a 4 gigahertz like CPU, all this other stuff, and I believed it straight off the bat. I was like, that's got to be my issue. I watched some videos. My CPU was maxed. GPU was normal. You know, my CPU couldn't work any harder. So what did my dumbass do? I went out and bought a i7 7700K, the 4.2 gigahertz one that boosts up to 4.5, thinking it was going to be perfect. It was going to fix my issue. It fucked it up even worse, to be honest with you. Turns out I can't even run a 7700K processor in this computer. Dell just kind of fucks you up with that. Like, I'm guessing they want you to just buy a new computer. So I was posting online, posted something on Reddit, CPU issues, and it was all these people, first of all, dogging on the CPU, saying it was hardly better, and the more I researched, the more I saw it wasn't. So I wasted, what was it, $350 on that thing. So that was just a big old punch in the face to make everything worse. And then everyone was saying you just have to upgrade your the iOS on your motherboard. I was like, okay, cool. After 2 or 3 times of switching out that CPU, because I put it in, power the computer on, it'd flicker for like a second and then power off, nothing else. So I swapped the CPUs again, put the old one in, the 6700, which turns out to be running fine. So don't dog on me on that. I don't do enough research. Do all the updates, throw the new CPU in, same thing. Update did nothing. And then I found this post online because I started researching, why isn't the CPU running? This guy asked, is there any planned support for i7 77K processor for the Dell Aora A5? They responded, the Aora R5 motherboard is not going to support Kaby Lake processors until 7th gen. Dell is not going to create the iOS for this. So found out this CPU will never run in this computer after changing everything else out. And I'm getting to the point where I already have the CPU and the graphics card and the power supply. I still have all the stock components for my computer. I'm honestly about to just throw everything stock back in. My little brother, he's obsessed with the PC gaming. He games on mine more than I do. He's always taking this thing up. And his birthday's coming up. So I honestly might throw the 1070 original power supply, everything back in this. Just give it to him. It'd be a crazy birthday gift that he'd love, and he'd remember that forever. So I might just toss him a $1,300 computer. And I'm kind of sick of how restricted this is. It's what I get for buying a pre-built system. I should have just built my own. And over this past day and a half, I've just been sitting on this fucking chip. The 7700K. I don't feel like going through the struggle of going through the return policy and all that. I'm lazy as fuck. Okay. So I start researching. I'm going to build a new computer. So I start from the ground up. I first find a case that I want. And then, excuse me, looking at this guy. If I'm going to build a computer, I want to do it right. And like I said, as cocky, or I shouldn't say cocky, I don't know the word for it. As bad as it sounds, like money's not an issue, I just want a system that will run peak levels and last a while. So I have no issues investing in like a build, okay? I have a steady job, I have money saved, there's money to spend. If you're tight on money and you don't have a job, or say you're in high school, and you just build a system that's going to get you by. Play the games that you want. I don't recommend going out and spending $2-3 grand on a computer unless you have the funds or the stability in your life to do so. So I find a case. This one's fucking sick. I know it's expensive. It's like a $300 case, but it's everything I wanted. The Aura, I think, is honestly kind of ugly. I want something with the clear side so I can see all the internals. And at this point in the video, I'm just going to get through plans because I'm going to start piecing all this together, what I have now. This is just sort of a lesson, you know. Do some research before you start this stuff, and don't buy pre-built systems unless you're happy with what you're buying. Don't ever plan on upgrading it, okay? Because Dell kind of fucked that over, that they're not going to allow 7700K chips in these systems. Anyway, I chose on this case. Went through all the specs. Then I went on PC parts. And step one is finding a motherboard that would fit and work everything, that would work the 7700K processor. Because my whole thinking behind it is already have a $350 CPU. Already got another power supply just sitting around that I might use. There's the 7700K that I just got a couple days ago. And then I buy a $750 GTX 1080 Ti. So boom, there's $1,100 already in my hands that I don't have to pay. So I start building it. Got my case that I want. It's beautiful. Find the motherboard that I want that'll fit. I could run everything on. Chose this one just for the aesthetics. I wanted like a white and black case. With this Cosmos, there's blue lighting on the inside. I just want kind of the white and blue theme with this computer. So that's what the interior will look like. Decided on that. CPU cooler, I'm 50-50. If any of you guys have any pluses or minuses with either the fans or liquid cool, I don't know the benefits. I know liquid cool is a little more sketchy and harder to get. But if it's worth it, I want to do it, you know. I finally want to do everything right this time. But right now, I just had this Cooler Master in it. Just a basic CPU fan, okay? And then memory is just two 8GB Corsair Vengeance. Again, blue. That was the one thing I was looking for. And then this is where stuff gets a little iffy. I'm still not sure what I want to do. Already got a video card, cases there, power supplies there. Optical drives. Do I have to get one to run Windows 10? Because I know Windows 10 comes as a disk. Do I have to get an optical drive, or can I transfer Windows 10 over to like a USB drive, something like that? I'm not sure on that. That's a question for you guys to answer below. Yeah, that's everything I got now. I got a 2 terabyte hard drive, which I might want to move up to 3 or 4. $150. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know anything about building a PC. I'm gonna research it all once I have everything. I'm just at the point of making sure everything works together. If you guys have any recommendations on what I should get, what's better than others, if something you see doesn't fit what I'm working with, let me know. Because I'm going to be having a full video of me putting it together. I know it's going to be a full day thing. It's going to be long. But I have questions. Hopefully you guys can answer some of them. Give me some guidance on what I'm doing. But other than that, Whole point of this video was to just run you through this situation and why you shouldn't buy a pre-built system. It's up to you. It's all just however, this PC stuff's just however much money you want to spend. So in my case, I think it's going to be better with the parts I have just sitting around, throwing the stock stuff back in the system, either selling it or giving it to my brother, and building a new one from scratch. Other than that, guys, just let me know anything that I might be able to use or anything, any parts that you'd recommend, parts that you wouldn't recommend. I'm obviously running a form factor ATX motherboard with the CPU socket LGA 1151. That obviously runs the CPU I have right now. And one last question for you guys that I'm not sure about. A lot of people say it's not worth the money or it's not worth it. SLI bridging GPUs. I have a 1080 Ti and the 1070 that came with my PC. If you bridge those together, would it really do anything? Or is it kind of pointless? Like you're not getting the, for how much money you spend, you're not getting the performance out of it. Other than that, that's going to be it for this update video, what I'm going through. Next video, I'll probably have everything lined up, all the pieces I need, and we'll start building the new one. But until next time, guys, peace.